Welcome, Professor Ogu. You are welcome.
Yeah, don't shift this thing, go from shift now, go from fast. Shift now.
Of the inaugural lecturer, Professor Elo Ibakere, the University Orator, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Our esteemed inaugural lecturer was born December 19, 1960, a little over 2 months after Nigeria took breath as an independent nation. He hails from Bethel in Isoko North local government area of Delta State, which in biblical symbolism signifies a place of divine elevation. He earned his BA honors from the University of Jos in 1982, before proceeding to the University of Ibadan for his MA in 1985 and his PhD in Theatre Arts in 1992. Not wrong to be constrained by disciplinary boundaries, Professor Ibakere pursued legal studies with relentless zeal, earning an LLB honors and LLM from the University of Benin in 2006 and 2014, respectively. In 2008, he earned the distinguished qualification of barrister at law from the Nigerian Law School, marking yet another milestone in his intellectual journey. These extraordinary academic journeys spanning the humanities, media studies, and jurisprudence forms the very heart of his inaugural lecture today, as he is set to illuminate the intricate nexus between these seemingly divergent disciplines in in the harmonious pursuit of national development. Professor Elo Ibadere's professional path in academia formally commenced at his alma mater, the University of Ibadan, where he taught in the General Studies program from 1990 to 1992. In 1993, he joined Delta State University as lecturer 2 in the Department of Mass Communication. In 2002, he transferred his services to the Department of Theatre Arts. He rose through the ranks and attained the position of full professor in 2016. In 2021, Professor Ibadere was appointed provost of the Olin campus, a position that aligned naturally with his grounding in the legal profession, particularly with the Faculty of Law placed directly under his stewardship. Vice Chancellor, sir, I therefore stand to be corrected, but he remains, to the best of my knowledge, the only lecturer in DELSU whose training eminently qualifies him to teach in 3 faculties: the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, and the Faculty of Law. Professor Ibadere boasts an impressive portfolio of scholarly publications, through which he has consistently examined how theatre, communication, and law shapes societal behavior, influence governance, and provide platforms for addressing national issues. He has also rendered dedicated services to DELSU in numerous academic and administrative capacities. He has twice served as acting head of department, as director of the GSD program, as faculty representative on the University Admissions Board, and contributed significantly to maintaining examination integrity through membership of the Examination Monitoring Committee. His expertise has also been sought nationwide, serving as external examiner and moderator at tertiary institutions across Nigeria. His professional affiliations with the Society of Nigerian Theatre Artists, SONTA, and the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, further reflect the remarkable breadth of his scholarly and professional engagements. Beyond academia, Professor Elo Ibadere has demonstrated active commitment to community development and civil responsibility. He has served as a member and legal advisor to the Committee of the Defense of Human Rights, Abraka branch, and as Deputy Unit Coordinator of the Special Marshals of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Professor Ibadere is a devoted family man, united in marriage with Mrs. Mercy Ibadere, and together they are blessed with 3 children and a growing number of grandchildren. His rare and remarkable blend of training in theatre, communication, and law places him among the nation's most uniquely accomplished and polyvalent academics. It is therefore my distinct honor, with your kind permission, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, to invite Professor Elo Ibadere to the podium to deliver his inaugural lecture. Thank you.
My Vice Chancellor, sir, please permit me to adopt the protocol already established. My Vice Chancellor, sir, let me start by saying that I was born when my mates were born. But those who knew me earlier, because of my experience and the way I analyze issues. Those who know me now believe that I am much younger than I claim because of my looks and the physical acts that I engage in. But I crave your indulgence, please, to leave my age to chronologists, just as my brother Imam will say, leave history for historians. As you have heard, my social, educational, and even political engagements have taken me to 32 of Nigeria's 32 states. The only exceptions being Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, and the Borno states. I commenced my academic sojourn in Delta State University in 1993 as you have heard, with a fresh PhD in January 1993, when PhD holders wanted to communicate with someone who understands only Urhobo is only wasting his time, because communication cannot take place as the shared field of experience in terms of the code, the language is not there. I will use two anecdotes to portray this point. When I went to the University of Ibadan for my master's degree, I got there and I discovered that all over the campus, it was Yoruba language that was being spoken. I was very angry. The lack of the university being so dominated by the Yoruba language. So myself and my belief friend, each time we saw them speaking Yoruba, we will be speaking Bini to tell them we are not the only ones who have the language. It was in the midst of this frustration one afternoon, I was relaxing in front of the theatre. A fellow just came to me. Ẹ̀ka sọ ọ̀gbẹ́ni ẹ̀jọ̀ Bufẹ́rí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Fẹ́mi Fátọ́ba níbo lọ́ọ̀tì sẹ́wà. I looked at him and I replied in his soul, ọ̀sán náà ẹ̀yẹ́ mi wọ́n mẹ́ta. The fellow was shocked. So you don't understand Yoruba? I said like, oh, so you speak English? So in that instance, there was no shared field of experience in terms of the language. But then, you may be speaking the English language or the language of communication, which is the shared field of experience. But when you apply some professional jargons, the person may not understand, and even communication may not even take place. Let me use another story to portray this point. I had gone back for my PhD a few years later, and I had gotten over the shock of the Yoruba language. But this time, we were encouraged to go to other departments to attend seminars, workshops, in order to broaden our horizon of research to better our own research. It was so I went to one workshop. I didn't bother to look at the poster to know what we were going to talk about. I went there quickly and sat in front. In a short while, the hall was filled. And then the fellow started writing on the board. If x plus y is equal to 9 raised to power 5, the hypotenuse of the cosine behold. What was I doing there? Here was I. Even myself, as I'm talking to you today, my mathematics has not gone beyond 100 tens and units. So what is hypotenuse? I was listening to you. Regrettably, I on your own. It was then I discovered that I was not alone with my academy. I hope I'm not alone here. So I know it's me. the shared field of experience must be there in order for communication to take place. So now, what is love? Love in the same way has become ubiquitous. Love is everywhere. People have love guiding literally everything, and that is why a concise definition that is universally acceptable has eluded the definition of love. Scholars have resorted to jurisprudence. Jurisprudence is the philosophy of love. And in considering jurisprudence, they have been met with different schools of love. Some scholars attempt to define law from the perspective of each school, depending on the school adopted by the scholar making such definition. So we have the natural law school. The natural law school believes that law has to do with obligations that must be respected, and then compensating anybody that is wrong. And when you look at their own opinion, it shows that it is fully embedded in our own law of contract. The principles can be found in our own legal philosophy. The concept of honoring agreements and all that. Then you have the historical law school. The historical law school takes root that law is a product of history, and that law emerged from the traditions and customs of the people. So when customs have become so noticed and so practiced, they become law. Then you have the utilitarian law school. The utilitarian law school hinges its philosophy on the fact that law should be there toward promoting the greatest good for the greater number of people. And then you have the sociological law school. The position of the sociological law school is similar to that of the natural law school. Only in this way, the sociological law school hinges its philosophy on the fact that law emerges from the norms and practices of the people. Meaning that law in this regard is used as a means of social control. But here, the sociological law school is different from natural law school in the sense that norms continue to change. Whereas in natural law school, we are talking of deep-seated traditions and customs. Then we have really the realist law school. Legal realism is derived from the practices in our law courts. So the realists believe that law is what happens in the law court and what the judges and court officials decide. That is the law. And then the most interesting one, the positive law school. Positivists believe that whatever they are saying, whether positive, whether natural, historical, sociological, law is what the sovereign says. What the sovereign says means that what the leader says is the law. But the positivists, the laws of Hitler are as valid as to make the law. From this definition, from this law school, various definitions have emerged. For example, the positivist define law as a command from a political superior to a political inferior, backed by sanctions and violations of that instruction. Other definitions have it that law is what the courts officials do about disputes. Others say law is simply the prophecies of what the courts will do. And then the one that aggregates all definitions says that law is the perfection of reasoning. So now, these are all theoretical definitions. A practical definition that is universal and common to all of us to believe, and that is law is the body of rules and regulations enacted to guide and regulate human conduct. Now, it must be stated that whatever law is made must conform with the provisions of a country's constitution if that country has a constitution. You know there are countries that do not operate on constitution. But in the talk of Nigeria, we have our own constitution. So all laws must be subject to the constitution. And that is why in our constitution, section 1, subsection 1 states that this constitution is supreme and its provisions shall have the binding force on all authorities and persons throughout the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The constitution goes further to state in section 1, subsection 3 that the laws of this constitution shall prevail, and if any other law is made that is contrary to what is in the constitution, that other law, to the extent of this inconsistency, Africa should have our own values, cherished values, which we defend. And I say here that the theatre must promote moral values of the society. And this has been done in times past. For example, the lawyer of Nigerian theatre, Yuma started fighting colonialism as early as 1945 with his play Worse Than Crime, where he attempted to say that colonialism was even worse than crime. So popular was the Buddhist theatre that in 1965, after the production of the play the then premier of the Western Region, a minister who had a bachelor of AIDS, the government knows what they are doing. They are meant there to swell the electorate of the government when he is doing for any celebration of social significance, not the performance of his job. So when the government is coming, come on, that is their fault. And these are people who continue to eat into the treasury. Now, look at the National Assembly. Their cronies operate a bunch of offices should be competent for, and then offices should be competent for, and then for the personal benefit of the office holder as well as their cronies or support group. The official purpose of the office often becomes of secondary concern. Explaining the concept of preventalism further, if I get 2015, stresses that since preventalism promotes the pursuit of personal economic interest by the appropriation of the state economic interest by the appropriation of the state treasury, and then you are on the road. Somebody, there is a law that if somebody is arrested, you must take him to court within a reasonable time. And if you cannot charge that person within 2 months, that person must be unconditionally released. But today, it is said that 60% of inmates in correctional centers are awaiting trial. Some of them have stayed there for over 10 years. So, theater and communication and law must synergize to save us from this period of harmony, from this effigy. But when we are saying all this is at national level. Let us begin from home. From which people we feel. Last year, when promotion criteria were arbitrarily applied, so that this Mr. A and Mr. B publish a particular journal, while the paper of Mr. A would be used to vote in that of Mr. B would be rejected. As dominant and obnoxious policies. Those who had the courage to stand up were vilified, treated like lepers that must be avoided. People were told, don't associate with those persons if you want to have peace in the university. Don't associate with those persons if you want your promotion. They obeyed what their promotion, while those that were being vilified were referred to as anarchists. I am proud to announce to you that I am one of those anarchists. And I survived the academic genocide. That is why I am here talking to you. Now, it is sad to note that when all this activity went on, what did theater do? Theater watched in youth facility and code complicity. Even law, what your lawyers do, instead of coming out to defend what should be the law, lawyers instead are involved in crisis from one place to the other, such that they who should receive a judgment over laymen like others are themselves being arraigned before laymen. So this is a very sad development. But I must commend, even if on a very minute note, Professor Austin Anibala, who has always preached from the pulpit, in his place, there is one drops of rotten news, which focuses on sexual harassment of lecturers aware of it. So how will they stand to be corrected? Okay, let me go to my trajectory, because I cannot separate myself from the inactivity of theater and law. I am there. What did I do? Well, I have written 2 full-length films. The first was titled Sweet But Deadly, focusing on autism. The second film, still on autism in the university, is titled Trajectory, directed by Lucky Imiti, and can be found on YouTube. Then I have 2 13-episode series. One, Broken Melody, which was shown on Ondo State Television, and the second one, The Opium, which was shot in 2011, treats the issue of religious intolerance, and it was broadcast on Bayelsa Television. Now, I have 3 copies. The first 2 were published in 1 volume in 2018. Survival Strategy, and the other one, Random Thoughts. Survival Strategy treats our challenges along the highway, while Random Thoughts emphasizes the meaninglessness of life. The third, which is my latest, was published in 2023. It is titled Neither Ivory Nor Tower. This is the one that speaks directly about the It focuses on the emergence of the chief executive of the university, the subject matter in which such a chief executive is chosen, and the excesses of that chief executive, leading to students' unrest and eventual collapse of the administration, leading to the removal of the chief executive. Although this bill was published in 2023, it was written more than 6 years before. I presented it to the department for production. My colleagues were so afraid they will not touch that bill in the long term. They said it was direct and they cannot produce it. The obviously belong to the class of those who have to run away from the anarchists in order to survive. It was only when the administration came in and they now found a new lease of life that they came out and the bill was eventually reformed on October 1st, September 30th and October 1st, 2022. It is instructive that the Vice Chancellor was there. So, in order for people to know my little contribution to what I'm talking about, I gave out 30 copies of that bill to be given to the first 30 people that purchased the election free of charge. Even on the liberal side, before I was driven from the law course because the university president that whenever they saw me in court, I would be sacked because I was not employed to teach law. So my going to court was not of any use to the law faculty. That was what I said. But I am sorry for those who missed my services because all the time I was in court, I handled all my cases pro bono. I never charged law. Even legal documents I drafted till today, I have not collected a dime from you. Even my colleagues who have benefited, they do. So, to have driven me from the court, they have only injured those who would have benefited from my legal services in court. Now, conclusion. Well, the lecture has attempted to show that the 3 areas under consideration can be synergized to enhance national development, which is seen. This is an unnecessary distraction. This one here I will show that I love my wife. Even then, I would have preferred a glass of anything. To be effective, theatre must be assisted by law to place itself in a position that should enable it to effectively play its role. It is also the opinion of this lecture that theatre, which largely operates physically in only tertiary institutions, should start by focusing on itself. And it is concluded here that theatre has not done enough towards actualizing this synergy and should be encouraged to play this role and be part of this synergy. It is important to note that education does not end with teaching of the curriculum alone. It transcends the theories provided. The lecturer must impart relevant developmental ideas to the students. Theatre must not therefore teach the students how to craft a good play or how to produce a good performance. It must inculcate in the students national values and the need to maintain them. We are experiencing the season of harmony, and theatre must rise up to confront those who are perpetrating and feeding the characteristics of this harmony. If they lead to successful synergy with law and appropriate course of communication towards the realization of national development. Data, for instance, they go into the area of criminology and research into why people commit crimes, and then come up with suggestions on how to prevent crime commission. For example, our students, there are those who cannot stop being examination cheats. For those who cannot stop committing crime, legally they are called recidivists. So how do we stop people from becoming recidivists? That is another area for research and acknowledgements. Now, acknowledgements are usually part of any writing which the writer uses to appreciate those who have contributed to the emergence of the writing. So often it mentions friends and mentors. However, in my acknowledgements, I wish to adopt Taishola's maxim that only when you surmount obstacles on your way to a goal that you can readily claim to be successful. Hence, this article, which was adopted as a pathway of our junior secondary school English test in those days, which is entitled Million Roof. So it may therefore be a surprise to many of you that I'm going to mention some names of people you believe to be my enemies who wanted me dead or out of the system. But without the obstacles to have. So whether positively or negatively, all those whose names appear here or I have forgotten to include have contributed to giving my life a meaning. First, to Almighty God. Thank God for giving me to this day. I wish to appreciate my former Vice Chancellors, Professor F.M. Ukoli, who employed me after a heated interview during which I agreed with him until he shouted on me to shut up. I never knew he was really testing my resilience because it was after the interview, Mr. Abiyokoman, who had just been appointed registrar, rushed out to me and told me, my son, you did very well. The man was very testing you because he was arguing in an area he knew nothing about. Now my development is somehow spiritually tied to Mr. Abiyokoman. Mr. Abiyokoman was my vice principal when I started secondary school in in 1972. When I went to the University of Ibadan for my master's degree, I sat in class and looked around. Behold, I saw Mr. Abiyokoman as my classmate. I could not learn anything that day because I was wondering how can my vice principal so many years ago now be my class? But after that class, I went to introduce myself and praise, oh, my son, you are here. And then after my PhD, I came here, I saw him again. He was really a father to me. I acknowledge Professor Bayo Sada, who I joined to fight when he was appointed Vice Chancellor. We fought him until he was removed. Years later, I went to Professor Oga to invite him to lead the chairman at my wedding reception. And by the time Oga was finished speaking, he rubbed his right beard. He said, no Oga, and he knew when you and your boys were fighting me, you are not fighting me because you hated me. You are fighting me out of principles. I am coming to the chairman. May his soul rest in peace. we knew him as Professor Feligo Edor. He was entitled to me, firstly to become head of department in it. And he supported me all through his life. May his soul rest in peace. I appreciate Professor Udegun, under whom ASU showed his resilience as a union. Under him, ASU helps to become one of the most vibrant and most formidable branches in this country. I also thank Professor Enau, a friend of ASU, under whom ASU equally showed that a friend of the union would always be defended. Under him, we took the State Assembly to court and defeated the State Assembly. I really appreciate my daddy, who has never failed to be at any inaugural election. I thank him for his support. With his amiable wife, Professor Henry Alumari Amanda Ripon. You are a daddy every day. I also appreciate my neighbor, Professor Victor Philippa Pertoni. His leadership style always kept us on our toes. That is a man I will not forget in a while. I thank Professor Andy Ekwega. Many people do not know my relationship with this man. I got wedded in the Catholic Church. I am not a Catholic. And Ekwega and his wife became the sponsors of that marriage. So he is my godfather in marriage. He announced my professorship and he made me the provost of Holy Campus. My professorship was announced after a protest to him, set up a committee, and he followed due process. So I call him Mr. Due Process. I wish to especially appreciate the group, DELSU Forum. This group emerged from the ASU struggle of 2001. When we heard the appellation, God bless you, it was from that struggle of 2001. The leadership of this forum includes those who have passed on. I never remember with sadness Mr. Crowder Ibrahim Ojo, Professor Ovi Korisa, Dr. Emmanuel Obiwanfo, and Professor Albert Ojo. May their souls rest in peace. So many members of the forum are Imam Godwin Timothy, Festus Arunaye, Maxwell Iwegwe, Paul Kompone, who is our current ASU chairman, Nicholas Alumona, all the rest of the Obara, Dennis Ikoji, Chooks Ebai, Last Eternity, Patrick Sunday Ibibi, Lawrence Bradley, Henry Atuwe, Peter Uberu, and Andy Ekuyeka. I sincerely thank you. I want to especially appreciate my elder brother and mentor, Professor Patrick Awayanole Mokogari. And thank God he's my friend of the police. I've learned so many things about life from this man. Most importantly, he taught me not to make anybody an enemy. And that if anybody makes me his enemy, that body should be held for the person to hear. He continues to stand by me in all my endeavors. Special thanks to him. To my neighbors, who only received me into Campus 1 and continue to be part of my family. I especially appreciate you Professor and Dr. Mrs. Okonta. This family has become my family. I also remember Professor and Professor Mrs. Okoya, my daddy and mommy, Chief E.J. Jerry of Blessed Memory and his family, Engineer Educator, Professor I.G. Joseph, the I.G. without a command. Professor Mrs. Sakari, Professor Mrs. Okorodu, the Rose, Professor Paul Lumaka of Blessed Memory, Professor Alobi Fondi, Professor Egowan, Professor and Professor Mrs. Akotato, you are all appreciated. I cannot in this regard fail to mention the principal officers I work with. They created a convivial atmosphere which enabled us to work as a family. I therefore appreciate Professor Mrs. Rosemary Ogo, Professor Ojuku Anoana, Professor Stephen Osahon Owaifo, our first senior registrar, Mrs. Shubina Mufuju, former bossa, Mr. John Sekari, our first senior bossa, Mrs. Otimeni, Ekakiji Omaluwa, our librarian, Dr. Mrs. Josephine Wako, and now, Professor Hilary Ijoma Awam, and Professor Edmond Afedu Atako. I thank you all. And then the leader of this team, I deliberately waited to this time, Professor Samuel Oyobo Asaka. People do not know that myself and Asaka, we have come a very long way. And we have a perfect understanding. I don't want to go beyond there. At the risk of becoming too sympathetic. So, Professor Asaka, I appreciate you. My staff, the campus, are well appreciated here. They welcome me with open arms and made things very good for me when I commenced my sojourn there. I wish to thank the Provost Office staff, Mrs. Jane Akokere, Mr. Patrick Nogo, Sophia Adogomu, and Jessica Lila. I also hereby express my gratitude to the 3 finance officers, my able bosses that I worked with, Mr. Oyorema Eolifo, Mr. Smith Oke, and currently Mr. Benedu Martins. I also wish to thank the head of the registry, Mrs. Kisana Okeke, the librarian, Dr. Daniel Akwanokore, as well as Mr. Marcus Isebe, who has been like a personal assistant to me. I thank other registry staff like Paul Elobata, Odafe Egade, Monday Akare, Magami Abigo, and Amos Emmanuel. I do hereby appreciate Dr. Lawrence Olore, who has been a pillar of support on the medical side. I told you, just a phone call, and Dr. Olore will run down to the lodge to get me treated. I thank him very much. I also thank the deans of the faculties, engineering and law, Professor Lotus Ogeredo, Professor Beauty Alon, other professors in the Holy Campus, Professor Bessin Ekoyi, Professor Mata Aseku, Professor Ikomosa Ogogo, all of the engineering faculty, as well as Professor A.C.E. Abuja, Professor Ismail, Professor Festus Emiri, Professor Veronica Abushada, Professor Kingsley Blackwood, Professor Ebobo, and all of the faculty of law. I also thank all the teachers in nursery and primary school, as well as teachers in our newly established secondary school. All other staff of the Holy Campus, both academic and non-academic, are hereby appreciated. I cannot forget to mention members of my faculty, Professor Sonny Abuja, Professor Osibebu Odeka, Professor Mrs. Rita Meditaka, Professor Emeka Oje, Professor Ben Eva, Professor Godwin Jacob, Professor Mrs. Naditi Olarega, Professor Emeka Ifesie, Professor Abel Yakaru, Professor John Mark Ibeke, Professor Ebere Adigo, Professor Mrs. Grace Atu, as well as Corporates Maledu, Imama, Omoso, and other members of the faculty, ably led by our indefatigable Dean, Professor Nelson Adele. I appreciate you all. I wish to remember my pioneer deans, Professor David Tuesday Adama. He is a man who loved me so much. He is so blessed. I also remember Professor Simon Unguru. My department dental arts is deeply appreciated. Maybe I should sit down now. Followed by Otete Emmanuel. Then Umukoro Elabisi and Monty Elisi. Others who I did not supervise their PhD but are now professors are Emmanuel Ufofukiri, Presley Bukalata, Honorable Patrick Ije, Thomas Alemu, and Festus Oyise. All other students of mine are hereby appreciated. Dr. S. Uguru and Mrs. Tony Akuma are appreciated. I remember friends in other faculties, but they continue to make life worthwhile. These are Professor Jacob Obori, Vice Chancellor of Southern Delta University, Professor Christian Ewinako, Dr. L. Ogoru, Professor of Augustus Atubi, Professor Sam Obigi, Professor Eze Mamba, and other deans and heads of the department. Professor Edgar Opanga, I appreciate you. I wish to appreciate the special marshals of Nigerian Civil War. Unit 11, they are here. If you like, I can stand up for competition. I am the unit coordinator of that Unit 11. I wish to thank them for their solidarity. Professor Chief Mokoba is here by I must forget my friends and colleagues who continue to inspire me in life, either in ASU struggle or in academics. I hereby thank Professor Isune, Professor Elana Edosa, Professor Sabi Omaera, Professor S.N.A. Agodo, Professor Moko Mekome, Professor Master Okadu, Professor Christopher Ogugu, Professor Patrick Bule, and Professor Saint Emmanuel Savna Gilika of blessed memory. I cannot forget Barrister Tayo Ibrahim. This is a man who continues to teach me the law and legal practice. I cannot thank him enough. I must also not fail to mention my supervisor, who mentored me until I cut my teeth. This man is Professor Hyginus Ekwazi. He is hereby
University. It is my honor and privilege, therefore, to call on the Vice Chancellor, Professor Samuel Ogenov.
The National Universities Commission, NUC, has approved 16 new accelerated degree and diploma awarding programs through the specialized centers and directory, such as Center of Nursing Science, Center for Entrepreneurship, Studies for various professional certifications, Institute of Education for Diploma in Education and Postgraduate Diploma in Education. intensive and part-time directorate for holders of HND, OND, and SSCE. The Joint University Preliminary Examination Board, JUPEB, for direct entry admission into 200 level. Center for Continuing Education Program, CCEP, for diploma programs in science, law, engineering, social sciences, agriculture, and many more. We only have the DELSU Business School at Asaba. The Abraka also have a pre-degree program and postgraduate studies for regular and weekend degree program. We only have the DELSU affiliate program for College of Education Warri, College of Education Mosuga, and College of Education Rasisilia, Hebrew College of Education. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to also inform our esteemed graduate that admissions are currently ongoing in the following programs: the JUPEB program, pre-degree program, postgraduate, regular and weekend degree program, intensive and part-time diploma program, new diploma, professional diploma, DELSU Codel, DELSU Business School, Asaba Campus, weekend intensive postgraduate diploma, master's, PhD, professional MBA and BBA, and continuing education program. The forms are currently on. Please tell one to tell others. And please, as you tell them, please also inform them of the current reality on ground that Delta State University, Abraka, is now the best state university in Nigeria, the best university in the south and southeast region of the country, and also, if you care to know more, the number 12 university in Nigeria. This is courtesy of the Times Higher Education Ranking for 2026, the highest academic global ranking in the world. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, please permit me to once again invite the registrar of this university to carry on with further announcement. The registrar.
Vice Chancellor, sir, please permit me to make the following additional announcements. A reception organized for the inaugural lecturer we hold at the Theatre Arts Theatre, just by Center for Entrepreneurship Studies here in Site 3. A book written in honor of Professor Elo Ibagere, our inaugural lecturer, will be unveiled and launched at the reception. Please endeavor to attend. Please note that the 11th in the series of validatory lectures of the Delta State University, Abraka, comes up on Tuesday, 9th December 2025 at 1 p.m. at the 750A Lecture Theatre, Site 3. The lecture will be delivered by Professor Augustine Emeka Wanchuku of the Health and Safety Education Department, Faculty of Education. Please note also that the 117th in the series of inaugural lectures comes up in January 2026. This lecture will be delivered by a professor of African literature, Professor Salim Awifale. at the Vice Chancellor's Lodge immediately after the close of this ceremony. Those to attend are special invited guests, members of Senate, directors of non-teaching departments, and officers of grade level 14 and above. With the permission of the Vice Chancellor, I wish to announce that the first inaugural lecture of Southern Delta University, Osoro, will be delivered by Professor Jacob Snaps Obore, the Vice Chancellor of Southern Delta University, and it comes up on Friday, 12 December 2025. The time is 10:30 a.m. Note that Professor Obore was the former rector of Delta State Polytechnic, Osoro. He was the former managing director of DELSU Investment Limited, a former professor of Delta State University, Abraka, and currently a staff of Southern Delta University, Osoro, and the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is my honor to again respectfully invite you to declare the congregation for the 116th in the series of inaugural lectures of the Delta State University, Abraka close. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Registrar. I want to once again stand under the protocol that I've already established. Well, what do I say? We all agree this is a very thought-provoking lecture. The inaugural lecturer said he doesn't want to cause controversy, but he has already done so. He has identified a lot of controversial issues leading this university and enlightened us about their struggles over the years against the establishment. Like he said, we have known for many years, even from our days in the city. So I've been closely associated with him. He might look harmless and gentle, but not underrate me. If you give him opportunity to talk, he can stir up an audience against the establishment. You know, they call you people will talk. Well, we see some people will just go and talk to the manager before you know they get their money. So Gabriel was already getting restless. So he came to a point when he tapped on the table with a very loud voice. What is this nonsense going on here? What is this nonsense? It must stop. Everybody fast. He get up the customers and they now have the voice. And the bank officials were forced to do the right thing. So we have done very well to this lecture. They have shown us the point of convergence between communication, law, and theatre arts. And he has also displayed his training. We could see from what he has done today that he has displayed the training he had in theatre arts, law, and mass communication. So he was able to bring all these professions to bear into this lecture. And he has also displayed the good knowledge of contemporary history from somebody is encroaching in your area. So the controversy he has brought today, you all agree with me, has really, mirrored his image as an artist. Because once an activist, you're always an activist, even when you're in management. I could recall many instances here that have come
still running to your different destinations. So as to this, I want to bring this assembly to a close. This assembly that has been constituted for the purpose of this inauguration is hereby brought to a close. Thank you. Permit me to invite once again Very Reverend Father Pastor James Muriel to lead us for in the name of the Father,